Good morning all. Today we are going to discuss about welding process. Welding is a fabrication process which will help us to join two metals. In rare case, we are also going to use welding to join thermoplastics. In welding process, we are going to use high heat to melt the parts and we are going to allowing them to cool. By that way, we are going to achieve the joining process. The moment when I say we are going to use heat to melt the process, maybe we will get a confusion with the soldering and brazing techniques. Normally, those techniques are known as lower temperature metal joining techniques, which is different from our welding. In welding, we are going to use some high heat and we are going to melt the parts. In your engineering practices laboratory, you did some experiments in arc welding process, I guess. In your manufacturing technology, you are going to do experiment in metal inert gas welding. Sometimes this is also known as gas metal arc welding or metal active gas welding. But in general, this is known as MIG welding or metal inert gas welding. So in MIG welding process, an electric arc forms between a consumable MIG wire electrode and the workpiece metals, which heats the workpiece metals, causing them to melt and join. And the major difference between the experiment that you already done in your EPL lab and this one is, here we are going to use a shielding gas. Sometimes this is known as inert gas, sometimes this is known as shielding gas. In your EPL laboratory, you did not use this inert gas. As a result of that, there is a possibility that melted metals can have possibility of changing its own property. Like the high heat metal parts will have a contact with atmospheric particles. As a result of that, there will be some different metal forming is possible, like the metal parts can react with oxygen. As a result of that, there can be oxide formation. So we know that the property of the normal base metal and the oxide is not going to be the same, and also there will be some other factors will also comes into the picture. To overcome this, we are going to use this inert gas. I hope you know the meaning of the inert gas. That means this gas is not going to react with your base metal. So this diagram will help you to give the base idea of MIG welding process. Just look into this. Here we are going to use a cylinder from which we are going to get our inert gas supply. This inert gas may change with respect to the base metal and also some other factors which will decide to choose the better inert gas. The wrong choosing of inert gas will give impact in the final welding efficiency, right? And this white arrow marks will indicate the MIG wire electrode position. So this is a feeder mechanism which will help us to supply the wire electrode into the process. Just look into this. This arrow mark is indicating the gas flow which will surround the wire electrode. So which will act as a shield. That's why we are calling this as a shield gas. So there is no direct contact between the heat area and the atmospheric particle. So this, since it is an inert gas, it is not going to react with the base metal. Is that clear? Right? We know that in welding process we are going to use electrical things. Most probably it is going to be a circuit. And in MIG welding process we have two possibility. Either we can use direct current or alternative current. Most probably we prefer direct current. One major advantage of this MIG welding process is it is going to give a clear picture about the welding joint. Means we know what is the base metal and we know what is the electrode that we are going to use. With the help of that, we can have some surety about the metal joining process, because there is no new metal formation. in previously, if you don't have this inert gas, there may be a possibility of oxide formation, because the atmospheric oxygen straight away will come into the picture, which will react with the metal parts and which will produce oxides. So the property of the oxide is not going to be the same like your base metal. So as a result of that, we may not aware about the function of the welding process or welding joining. To overcome that, we are using MIG welding process. And if you look, in your manufacturing technology lab, you are going to perform a welding, a joining, sorry, in your manufacturing technology lab, you are going to perform metal joining with the help of this MIG welding process, right? The remaining thing is going to be the same, similar to what you did in your engineering practices laboratory. The only difference is here we are going to use a different torch, right? This one holder, where we are going to have the inert gas supply also, right? The remaining process is going to be the same. How you supposed to handle with the welding and remaining the safety precautions, everything is going to be the same one. Is that clear? And this is not the only variety of welding. If you go into the internet, you may get some different types of welding process. You can able to know the submerged welding process, and there are so many. With respect to the application, you have to choose the perfect welding process. Okay, thank you very much.